Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name's Paul, and in this video I'm going to talk about the opening range breakout, or the ORB. Last week was a great week, 5 green days in a row playing only the opening range, and I've had a few questions about how I take my opening range breakouts. I've also been asked what my entry and my stops are and where I put my targets. So in this video I'm going to go through the last few days, and I'm going to go through exactly why I take it, what I'm looking for, and my entries and my targets. So let's start off with last Monday, which was the 23rd of June. So you're looking at the ES. We're on the 1 hour time frame at the moment, because I like to look at the higher time frame first and then drop down into the lower 5-minute time frame. So you can see last Monday you can see what's happened. We had a bit of a sell-off over the week, and we had a few red days in a row. In fact, I did okay on these days as well. And then Monday came in, and we kind of opened up near to where inside the range of Friday. So that's our Friday's high, that's our Friday's low, and we're opening up right smack bang in the middle. So if you've downloaded my guide, if you haven't, then you can find it on the website. There's a link in the description below to it. It's a totally free guide at the moment. I've got it on Amazon and Kindle, but it's free if you download it from my website. And in that guide I talk about how to judge the opening range and how to judge the day based on whether we're trending, for example we're trending down or trending up, or whether we are ranging or we've got an inside day. So ranging is when the market's just going sideways like that for several days, and an inside day is exactly what we've got here, where we've got the highs and lows of the previous day, and we're opening up inside that day. So technically an inside day we can treat it a bit like a ranging day. But download the free guide on my website from the link below, and that will go through in detail on how you decide what type of day it is, because it's important to know what type of day it is, because if we're ranging or we're just inside, then the market generally doesn't move. It's whipsawing around like that, and you don't want to be caught looking for breakouts when it's just going to break down. So on those days I kind of treat it as a scalping day, where I use the 5-minute chart and I'm trailing the 5-minute. On trending days, when we know it breaks out, pull back, and we're doing days like that, then they're the days when I want to set my entry, put my stop in, and just let it run until it hits my target. So I'm going to go through Monday's day to start off with, and we're looking at the tick replay on the TradingView platform. So I'm going to go forward by 5 minutes. So just to confirm, it's an inside day. We do have pre-market high here, pre-market low there, and I do look for break and retest. And what I'm ideally looking for is for the opening market to push up into this area. And what I'd like to see, especially when we've got opening range, especially when we've got the pre-market low, pre-market high, both in quite a narrow range, and I want to see the opening range 5-minute kind of open up in this area, and that's a double confirmation. So not only are we breaking pre-market high, we're also putting in the opening range. And then especially if we've got potential pivots above, or key levels like this is Friday, the previous Friday's low, then they're areas I'm watching for a potential target as well. So I'm going to drop down into the 5-minute chart, and you can see we're still in the market. And so let's just go forward 5 minutes until we get to 9:30. So we're coming up to 9:30, and I'm just going to pause. So that's our first 3 candles in the market. So we've got 9:30, 9:35 and 9:40. So then we're watching the range, and I've got that indicator drawing in the opening range as well. So let's go forward one more candle. So we've got our range. You can see where it broke the range. So I'm looking for the first candle to break and close above that range. So I'm pretty wary of pre-market high is now in that area. So this is a key area for me right now. What I'm looking for is the opening range just to perform, just to break, just kind of hovering around that area. We could whipsaw around and do that. I can't actually remember what the entry is, so I'm going to take the entry as per my rules, and I can't remember where I got in, but I'm pretty sure if I saw the opening range, get close to the pre-market high. My lips were getting a little bit wet at this point, so I was kind of licking my lips. So I'm going to take the next range. So we've now closed above the opening range. So what I'm looking for now is to break over this area, and that'll be my entry. My stop will be here, so I will just put in my risk to reward. So my entry is there, my stop is here, just a few ticks below, and what I'm looking for is an inside day. So I'm looking for potential scalp, but I do like to aim for 3R. So I'll put my 3R here anyway, that area, but I'll be trailing the 5 minute. So first candle, there we go. So that's my entry. So I'm now entered, and I've got my stop there, I've got my entry, got my risk reward defined. So let's just see how this goes. Again, I can't really remember how it played out. So far so good. I know I scalped a few days. So far so good. So what I will be doing now is moving my stop, because we hit this white line. What's that? That's a previous opening range. We're not near any levels at the moment, and obviously we're targeting the 3R mark. I always look for 2R. We're currently at, where's our 2R? Our 2R is about here. I normally look for 2R, but I like 3R. That's what I aim for. In fact, my platform gives me 3R and 5R as targets. So next candle, pulled back a bit. Next candle, there we go. That's our 2R. So I would definitely be looking to get out now. So what happens is I'll be trailing my stop to just below that red candle, probably these pivots as well. And I would be pretty close to being stopped out. Still pretty close. And still pretty close. And I stopped. So that would be my stop there. So this would be a smaller day, only because, oh, I'll just put that back. I'm looking for, I probably would have got out as we broke the trend, so it would have been there. So 1.1R, that's probably would have been my entry. So what I'm also looking for is a trend line here, and we had no more follow through at the top, so I would have raised my stop, waited for it to break the trend, and my exit would have been around this area, so it wasn't too far from where we got out. And that would have been it. My day would have been done by that point. I would have taken my money and I would have walked, because I have a rule where I only want to take one trade. Possibly I'll take 2 trades if the first one stops out, so I'll probably look for a re-entry, which I know I did do last week. So let's see how the rest of the day, if you're going to put your stop in, let's just see how the rest of the day plays out. And again, I try not to have any regrets. So you can see close to our break even, and then we would have eventually come down. Not close from stopping, we haven't quite stopped and stopped, so we would have stopped out had we not scalped out. And look at that big push down. So this is why, for the exact reasons why I say, if we've got an inside day and we open up an inside day, we're scalping it out rather than waiting for the 3R. My 3R is up here. So let's just draw the 3R back in again. It was around about here. So that's my 3R area there, and we didn't get anywhere near it. So this was a winning day, and for me it was a scalping day. So I will show you my actual trading result for this day. Let me open up my journal. Dashboard. Let's do for this month. So you can see this is this month, and $2,000 on a scalp. I had 2 trades. So let's just see. Let's just really see. So I think that might be just a bad entry. That's my entry there, 952. Let's see how that compares to what I would have done here. 952 is about there. Yep. Hang on, I can probably open up the actual trade. So we ignore that one. Sometimes I may have got in or out with too many contracts and I just corrected it. There's one trade I took on Monday, I know that. Here you go, so this is my actual trade. So my entry was there, just on the break of that candle, like I said. And there you go, that's my exit as we broke that trend. And I probably would have taken out half off there and another half off later. That is exactly what happened. So, and that's exactly where I was going, because I wasn't going to let it get below that area, and you see what happened. It eventually stopped out had I held it. So that's my entry. So it was a entry there. I think I'm not quite sure what that green is there. Maybe I made a keyboard error so when I got out, but it was definitely entry, pull back, exit, push back up, exit again. So I wasn't going to let any profit go. So that was my day, and that was $1,900. And I can show you, I trade all my Apex accounts. Not sure how I show that in executions. Here we go. So it looks like a lot, but I have a copier that copies it all across. So that's my executions, and I like to just, most days, I don't always, I like to put in what type of play it was. So there's an orb setup, a ranging, it's an inside day, and my confidence level and what time frame. Here we go. So I got 1 hour, I took profit, and in my back testing, I like to back test what it does as well. You know, 3 hours my target, 5 hour. So I got my 3 hour take profit, 3 hour. I should have my take profit at 5. I've not added that in yet, but that's how I track my trades, and that's why I know the opening range is doing really well, because I like to refer back to these. Okay, so that was that day, and I'm going to go through and do the following day trading. So let's just go forward a bit more today. So now we're looking at Tuesday. I'll go over this opening range trade as well. In fact, maybe I'll just go through my journal, but I just want to show you me taking it live and my thought process. So you can see we're outside of yesterday's range now, and so now we're outside of yesterday's range. We're coming up to the market open about here. So now I'm treating today as a range as a trending day, because we are now over the range the last few days. We've broken out over this trend line, and look at this this is a trend line I left on there. We broke it, came back and we tested it. You know, that's a valid entry there. But then let's just go into where we are. So let's go forward until we get to 9:30. So you can see the 9:30 candle, lots of volume. So we're looking for the opening range breakout or breakdown. So that's our 2 candles. So you see the range is in place now. And now I'm looking for the next candle to close above or below the opening range. That's the first 15 minutes. You know, this one here, if you're looking for a breakout, it should have been triggered in and stopped out straight away. Which is why I'm looking for the candle to break or close above any of the ranges. So now we're back down to the low range. Look at this, talk about playing the range. Big, I think that's a news candle, 10 AM news. Still waiting, and again, it's all about being patient. Still waiting, still waiting, still waiting. Where we're now, we're about 10:30. Here we go. So now we're getting pretty close. Look at this range, it's just holding this range. So we're still waiting. Patience is a virtue. 11 AM, so no trace for the first. Close, but still not valid, because even though we close pretty much on the opening, but it's not above it. And now this could be our entry here. So we've now closed. Again, it's all about being patient. We're currently 11:10. So my entry would be there. My stop, nice narrow range one. It's roughly a few ticks, about 3 ticks below. And then I'm targeting 3R. I target 3 and 5R. That would have triggered me in. Again, depends on when I set up my order as well. I'm setting up the order in anticipation at the moment. So I'm triggered in, and now I definitely would have been triggered in at that point. So let's run it a bit, see where we get. Again, because the market's getting close to all-time highs at this point, I'm looking to trail. Possibly I would have got out at that point. And I will compare with my actual trade in a few minutes. So still holding. Do we get to 3R on a trending day? So we're putting in new highs, and target. So there you go, that's a 3-hour day. Let me see, I don't think I did so well on this day. I think I trailed out for a small win. So let me just compare. Okay, so this is my trade. I took one trade that day for an $800 win. And it's exactly that. So exactly what I said as I was watching it. But I think this went, so that's my entry there. And I was trailing. Do you know what? I was in. I wasn't in the right mindset on Tuesday. I was a bit under the weather as well, so I just wanted to get out of the market. I do remember quite vividly. So I trailed out, but I do remember thinking, damn, it hit my 3R, and it probably would have got close to 4R. So, but had I just not managed my trade, that would have been a great entry. So that would have been my risk. I think I'm over at risk, and that's the 3R up here. So nice easy day. That's a 3R trade. So I'm still happy at $800. You know, I probably shouldn't have traded. So that's that day. So now let's just go to the following day. Look at that for volume coming in. And that's 3 AM, so something happened at that time. So it's coming into market open. We're still in the pre-market. Oh, okay, there you go. So just to confirm, we are opening up with close to the range. So I was treating it as a ranging day, but ranging, but with a slight bias to a trending day because we're slightly above. And what I want, like I say, I like to see the market push up into the pre-market high area. And as you can see, we've got our opening range in place there and there. This is our opening range from that area there down to that area there, 15 minutes. And so let's just take the next candle. We're waiting for it to close above the opening range. So we've got big drop down. See, this is a tricky one because we closed right on it. Do you know what the reason I didn't take this entry, and it's the same because I have a rule, I only want to see a solid red bar. I don't want to see any bottom tails like this. So to me, that's a no entry. And it might work. I'm pretty sure it didn't work, but let's just see what the next candle does. Look at that, stop out. So that would have been a stop out, and that's the reason you don't take an entry when there's a big topping tail, and that's showing that buyers came back in. The same up here. If we had a big topping tail, sellers are coming in. And why would you want to take? You want A plus setups only, and that wasn't A plus. So let's just scroll on. Again, patience. I do remember this day quite clearly. That is my entry there. So that's my closing candle, and I have a midline as well, which I draw on my main chart. And my midline is around about there. So if the candle opens below the midline, then I'm happy to take it. My entry was about here. So I'm going to quickly open up my actual chart. And I'm going to draw in my risk reward. And this is one of the days where I took a loss and then I took a winning trade. So let's just draw that in there. My risk, so quite a big risk to reward, you can see that. And then let's just come down. I'm going to draw in the 3R because that's what I always aim for. It's about there. And let's draw the next candle. Next candle. I'm pretty sure the first one stopped me out. Again, alarm bells. You know, that could have been a break and retest there. No, or was that my stop? Ah, yeah, so I've just opened up my chart now. I can see exactly where I got in. Yeah, I'd like to think my rules are still valid. That was my rule, not to enter there. My entry was there and my stop was there, exactly what we just saw. So, again, that was a stop out. And then, you know, I do like to take on a second trade sometimes. And so, I took my stop. I'm just scrolling forward, looking for the entry. So that was my entry, and I'm just confirming my entry was this candle. So let's just get rid of that. So I had a 1R stop. So my entry was there, my stop was there, and it's good. I'm going to stop at yesterday's high. That's the key area, so that's like a double confirmation. Entry, stop in that place, 3R, and I'll go back to my original chart. Let's see how this does. So I would have been trailing the 5 minute. I can't remember if it hits 3R or not. I don't think it did. I think it got close. Oh, it did. There you go, 3R. But I'm pretty sure I went in on half risk. So my entry is there, and I took my profits there, and I think I took it on the second one as well when I saw the. There you go. So I remember taking it out when it pulled back. I took some profit here, and I'm pretty sure it went all the way to 5R. So let's just see what happens. Oh, look at that. Let's put my 5R in place there, and there we go, live. There you go, there. Hit the 5R, so right in there. So eventually it did hit 5R, and again, I don't want to be trading past midday, so as a half risk trade that was, and I got out of 3R, and I think I ended the day at break even. So let's just go bring my dashboard back in again. Yeah, pretty much break even. That's my two trades. So that's my losing trade, that's my winning trade, but it was half risk, that trade. I don't know why I did ask for half risk. I think because you can see I don't have many losing days, and I think I just got a bit disillusioned because I had like a short trade the day before and a losing trade. I don't get many losing trades. So let's go on to Thursday. Okay, so let's just see where we are. We are opening above yesterday's and the previous day's high. So I'm treating this as a trending day. So we've got 9:30 coming in now. You can see that with the extra volume. So we're looking to do an opening range breakout or breakdown, but if we break out above what I'm looking for, again, I love it when the pre-market high is in that range and we can get the opening range up in there in that area as well. So that's what I'm looking for, a breakout. That technically closed below the opening range, but I don't think I took it because of the bottom tail. I don't like these bottom tail candles. Yeah, look at that, indecision, and we're back in the range again. So patience. So this now closed outside of the range, so I probably would have looked for an entry about here. So let's just draw in my risk to reward. So my entry would have been there, my stop would have been here, which is above the midpoint, and I'll be risking, I want to try and get to 3R, it's about there. So let's just play it forward. Okay, well that's just sped it up a bit. So you can see I got triggered in, and I definitely got in. So let's just keep moving forward now. See what happens. Getting close. Did it hit 3R? I think it might have done about there. Okay, so it hit 3R on that candle. So that was 140 3R, and I'm pretty sure I was managing it while I was away. So I kind of put my targets in place and just left it running. So again, I didn't trail out of this one because it's a ranging day. So I go back to my dashboard, and now we're on to Friday. One trade Friday. I'll show you exactly how it was. So let's drop down to the 5 minute. The reason I'm not using this because it doesn't I don't have my indicators in place, but we can draw them in. So let's draw some lines. So this is the opening range low. This is the opening range high. Candle closed above it. And so my entry would have been here. And so let's just draw my stop loss. So that's my stop loss there. And my target would have been, so that's a small risk to reward. That would have been 3R and 5R. So that would have been my in and outs. Again, that's a decent trade. In and out of that within entry at 9.50, exit, my last exit was at 10.05. So what's that? That was a 15-minute trade, and that netted 6.2k. So again, a nice easy day. Would have easily gone to more than 3, 4, 5R, and then we had a big sell-off, and now we're back up to where we are today, Monday, and that's it. Again, I was treating this day as a trending day because we were opening above the highs of the previous day. So again, that's the reason why I'm happy to let it run a little bit longer. I didn't need to in that trade. I was done and dusted in 15 minutes. So how many work days do you have as a 15-minute work day, which nets you 6.2k, almost 6.3k? And that's basically all of my trades from last week. And from doing them from memory, so I apologise, maybe I should have looked at them, but I purposely don't want to look at my trades on here until I did the actual video, because I like to think that my strategy is pretty solid, and my entries and my targets and my stops are pretty much the same, because I'm trying to trade them mechanically. And so that's the reason I didn't look at this until I showed you the entries as they were happening. And you see, decent week, almost 28,000. We've still got one day to go, and that's today. Market opens in about an hour, so I'm going to get ready for that. And hopefully you like this video, and I showed you my mind, my thinking and my mindset when I was getting into these trades and why I was taking them. And like you see, as you saw, we had a losing day and we had a winning trade. It ended at break even. And then we had a scalping day, a couple of scalping days, and we had a couple of trending days. And all of this is just by waiting and being patient and going with your A+ setups only. I think probably that wasn't an A+ setup. That was probably a B-. Probably shouldn't even taken it the first one, and I should have taken the second one, so that could have been a much better winning day. Thank you for watching, and I will be live literally in 25 minutes. This video won't be out until tomorrow, so every day 9 AM Eastern time I will be live going through my levels. I will also be discussing with you my ORBs and where I want to take them as well. Okay, appreciate your time, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the live room or in the live videos.